So what kind of clean energy actions is National Grid involved with?
Yeah, for a little background, so National Grid is committed to achieve net zero by 2050. Um, and we'll do this by reducing greenhouse gas emissions from our own operations, 80% by 2030, 90% by 2040, and net zero by 2050 compared to the 1990 baseline. Um, we also plan to reduce greenhouse gas emissions for the electricity and gas that we sell to our customers 20% by 2030 from a 2018 baseline, and then reaching net zero again by 2050. Um, Most of the markets in which we operate have announced net zero carbon reduction targets. So we do anticipate further legislation and embrace the opportunity to play our role in helping achieve these challenging goals. And I've developed frameworks to achieve this by focusing on several areas, but to give a couple examples, one is the effort to reduce SF6, which is a sulfur hexafluoride emission, and it's used in electric networks for its insulating properties. Unfortunately, though, it is a very potent greenhouse gas. So since 2000, we've reduced our SF6 emissions by 80%, and we've committed to installing no new equipment using SF6 by 2028, reducing total leaks by 50% by 2030, and to go ahead and eliminate all SF6 gas from our assets by 2050. So again, that net zero by 2050. We are working to find new technologies and solutions to achieve this target through work partners from across the sector to identify, develop, and implement these solutions at the earliest opportunity. And then another example of this effort is advancing the clean transportation. So transportation, as many people know, contributes to approximately 40% of greenhouse gas emissions. And we're dedicated to assisting our states and customers in reducing those. We'll continue to proactively promote EV adoption and EV charging infrastructure. And then internally, we plan to move to 100% electric fleet by 2030 for our light duty vehicles, as well as to replace our medium and heavy duty vehicles with zero carbon alternatives. But it doesn't stop there. National Grid is also looking to achieve zero carbon emissions from our business air travel. So from 2020 onwards, annual air miles traveled will be reduced by 50% from a 2019 baseline, and will be offset by remaining emissions responsibly. So we're really dedicated to reaching these goals and taking our own accountability.
In addition to all that other great work, buildings, the thermal heating and cooling is another huge chunk of the greenhouse gas emissions. And you guys have this whole clean heat program that's part of the statewide effort. And could you talk about that and what the goals are and what kind of incentives are there, in particular for geothermal, the most efficient form of heating and cooling?
Sure. So the goals for this program, we have quite ambitious goals at National Grid. Over 1.1 million MMBTU savings by the end of 2025. And as you mentioned, we'll be doing this through offering incentives. They'll be available on our cold climate air source, whether it's a centrally ducted system or a mini split. And of course, ground source heat pumps and heat pump water heaters. And the exciting part about this program is that it's available to all of our electric customers, regardless of the building sector. So residential customers, multifamily, new construction, small business, commercial and industrial, we'll work with you to find a solution. Of course, as you mentioned, the ground source heat pumps are the most efficient So love seeing projects like those come in. Mostly we see those with new construction because it is a good prime time, but new construction is certainly welcome to participate and bring them along. The incentives that we offer for this program, we have over $84 million to work with incentives through 2025. We have our geothermal or the ground source does have the highest incentive. It generally has the highest upfront cost, but it works out most efficiently for customers in the long run. So if that investment is, able to be made, we certainly encourage it. But just on average, if a customer was installing, a mini split, you can see on average about a $400 savings per unit, $3,000 once you're going into a central, system with air source heat pumps to heat your home. And then ground source can get, our average customers are seeing around $7,000. So really helps to bring down that upfront cost. And it's important to note also that customers can still take advantage of federal tax credits. So, there's more money available to help customers reach this equipment and certainly encourage them to take a look.
Yeah, so $7,000 off the top for a geothermal system, significantly less, but still there for air source systems, which are cheaper. But then on the ground source heat pumps, you also get the 26% federal tax credit, which is more than a quarter off of the top as well, so that you get that back in your tax credits. And as long as people always check with their tax advisor to make sure they can take those credits,
Yeah.
what you're looking at is an incentive that brings the price down by probably about half or so, right? So not bad.
Yeah. And instead of installing two systems, AC and heating, you're installing one. So, there's certainly other benefits that to take into consideration of making this investment.
Yeah, in addition to net zero environmental impact in terms of emissions and greenhouse gases, there's indoor air quality benefits that you get, and and then the comfort is just, you have a much more comfortable home or building actually with these technologies, which is fantastic. Great. So when people want to access the programs with National Grid, how do they find out, or how do they get it, and where can people find information?
Yeah, so we have, our home website where customers can look to see all of the offerings that National Grid has, whether they're electric or gas customers, again, varying through building sector for residential, multifamily, small business, and commercial. So to hit that, general welcome, go to nationalgridus.com. And then if you really want to learn more about our heat pumps, which of course we love, you can go directly to ngrid.com /NYS clean heat. So it's ngrid.com /NYS clean heat.
Fantastic.